Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are watching the station identification of one of Wayland City's resident YouTubers. Live in the basement. This is not MTV's remote control. And he is not Ken Ober. God rest Ken Ober's soul. This is WEML-TV, Channel 77. And now here's your host, New Bedford, Massachusetts' own, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. Yes, this is indeed WEML-TV Channel 77. Yes, this is indeed Eric Lima. How's everyone going out there? I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. It's today's Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. May the 31st, 2021, 12:47 p.m., episode 260 of the show. What's going on? I hope you guys are feeling blessed as I am, and hopefully you're having a better day than I am too. I'm having a good day. I hope your day is better though. I always want to encourage other people to have a better day, and sometimes people go through stuff in life, and I like to encourage them. I don't want to brag about my day. I want you to brag about your day and how your day is gone. Well, if your day's been rough, hey, hang in there. Stay strong, man. And I gotta admit, I am so over this cold, ucky, gloomy weather. I don't mind the rain, but get some warmer temperatures out of this thing, please. But the good thing, June is just basically tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys, like I said, hope you guys have gone great. And I don't know how many AEW fans out there watched Double or Nothing last night. I ended up getting to manage to watch it. Don't ask me how. I just, sometimes miracles do happen in life. In my life sometimes, and I watched it with with Brandon Martin, one of my the founder and one of the founders and producers of Rant and Ray podcast, and that will be airing on Tuesday nights. As you know, I'm one of the co-hosts of the show, but I always try to arrive late. Brandon Martin does understand, so we're good. So. Just because I have band rehearsals, and it usually depends on how long we practice. And then usually I get out, as you've done practice around by 8:30, 8:20 of 9. That's that sort of point. Now, so I usually try to arrive in a little bit later than usual, and be respectful. And I talked to Brandon. He understands all that. So don't worry about a thing. If I'm not there at the Rant and Ray podcast, I will be there. Late, they say better late than never, So, get out of the way. Tonight is Monday Night Raw. 2 matches already been signed. Shayna Baszler going one-on-one with Reginald, and which will be an interesting matchup, to say the least. And the number 1 contendership for the WWE Championship for Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, winner faces Lashley at that pay-per-view. And, but we're going to talk about AEW Double or Nothing last night. Managed to watch it, like I said. I am really excited about this. This was my first Double or Nothing watched. And was with a crowd, too. So I sense a lot of interesting things. I sensed a lot of interesting things happening here. The buy-in is the free. It's almost like a kickoff show, free for AEW Double or Nothing. The NWA Women's Championship is online. The NWA is one of the organizations working with AEW. Impact Wrestling is another. Serena Deeb, the NWA Women's Champion, defended her title against the former AEW Women's Champ Riho. Riho is from Japan. She's the first AEW Women's Champion. And great matchup indeed. And Serena Deeb did retain the title. That means Thunder Rosa and Camille are watching very closely with their managers. Thunder Rosa has Melina in her corner, while Camille's got Taryn Tyrell in her corner. So this is going to be a very interesting situation, to say the least. Taz and Jim Ross were both introduced to be the color commentators for the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And joining Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. And the first matchup to lead off the Double or Nothing is Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Cage. Now, Hangman Adam Page said, hey, you keep your goon squad in the back, Team Taz, it's Hook, and Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, then we're going to have a match. And so Brian Cage goes, fine, I can beat you without him. and double or nothing during the matchup. It was a great matchup, and then Ricky Starks and the Hook got involved. Ricky Starks hands Brian Cage the FTW title, and Brian Cage looks at it, don't want to use it, and then don't want to use it, but in the end, Hangman Adam Page hit the buckshot lariat a couple more times and pinned Brian Cage. Brian Cage got upset with both Ricky Starks and Hook and pushed them both and walked out by himself. So there's some little bit of dissension within Team Taz. Going to be so it'll be interesting what's going to happen this Friday night on Dynamite. The AEW Tag Team titles were next on the line. The Young Bucks defending the team against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I picked usually Moxley and Kingston to win the match, but Hangman Charlie Long has got a point. Jon Moxley's about to take some time off to be with Renee Young and to have their first child. I think it's a baby girl. So I think this was very important. But in the end, despite the fact that the Good Brothers got involved, Brandon Cutler got involved, everybody was getting the Young Bucks did retain the titles against Moxley and Kingston. Like I said, it was a heck of a matchup. Near falls, good moves. AEW has been delivering. Now the Casino Battle Royal. Now this is probably the most unique version of the Battle Royal I've ever witnessed. Usually goes like this. Now the first 5 competitors will be drawn from a card. It has clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. And there's a Joker card. The Joker card is like a wild card. One competitor will draw that card. We don't know who that person is. So 5, I think every 3 minutes, another 5, from another suit will come up. So it's like a groups of 5. So the first 5 from the clubs card drawn: Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Dustin Rhodes, and Max Caster. Max Caster was too busy running his mouth. He got his butt kicked. Eliminations. Christian Cage had great endurance in this battle royal. And then the diamonds came out from the superstars and the competitors from the diamond card: Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy of Hardy Family Office, Preston Vance of the Dark Order, Mick Camarado of the Factory, and Serpentico of the Chaos Project. And then the Hearts were the Varsity Blondes. That's a team of Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Dark Order's Colt Cabana, Anthony Bowens, the other half of the Acclaimed. And 1/3 of the Death Triangle, Penta El Zero Miedo. And then in spades, it's Jungle Boy of the Jurassic Express, Mark Quinn, the other half of Private Party, Aaron Solo of the Factory, Evil Uno of the Dark Order, and Big Shotty Lee Johnson from the Nightmare Family. A lot of craziness was happening in that matchup, and the Joker card was revealed to be Lio Rush. Now, if the AEW signed Lio Rush, that's a huge opportunity for them. And if I were AEW now, Impact's got the X Division Championship. The WWE's got the Cruiserweight title in NXT. I think AEW should have a title for high flyers and all that. I think an open weight championship, and I think Jordan Little did bring this up, an open weight championship would not be a bad idea. I think AEW should look into that. But in the end, Jungle Boy, now the winner of this Casino Battle Royal will get a shot in 2 weeks at Dynamite against Kenny Omega. Jungle Boy ended up winning the matchup. It was between him and Christian Cage, who was there since the very beginning. So that was a heck of a matchup, for sure. Then, so Jungle Boy, Kenny Omega in 2 weeks on Dynamite. It's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. There was a military appreciation vets honored by AEW. Fans gave him ovation. One of them had to serve his dog with him, and they're going to. It was really cool for AEW to do that. And then they have a new show called Rampage that will be debuted, I think, this Friday, I've heard. And they signed a new guy. They signed someone who will be a coach, not only be a coach, but a color commentary. team member. Mark Henry has joined AEW now. So, a lot of people say, "Oh, can we find the same former WWE talent?" I think Mark Henry and Big Show are there to help and coach and mentor the young competitors of AEW. And I personally believe that those two gentlemen, I would not be surprised if Paul White had something to do with Mark Henry getting signed up, because I know Paul White will probably had vouched for Mark Henry. So, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry is joined up with AEW. So this is a huge opportunity for him to pass on his knowledge to the younger generation, and possibly help them to succeed as well, and possibly do a decent job color commentating, and be a new venture for Mark Henry. But I think Mark Henry's all in for this. No pun intended, but all in was another thing. All right. So the next matchup, which I kind of missed out on, but because my computer was being a slapnut, Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. I was going to say Anthony Ogogo Power Rangers. I'm about Anthony Ogogo home. Heard it was a heck of a matchup, but in the end, Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, won the match. I'll tell you what, and QT Fire Marshal Bill better rally the troops per se, because the factory's nothing but trouble. That's for sure. Then the TNT Championship on the line, Miro versus Lance Archer. It was a heck of a matchup between these big two hosses. They went at it, but in the end, Miro won the matchup, and Lance Archer didn't pass out. So due to referee stoppage, Miro didn't win the match. Then the AEW Women's Championship on the line, Hikaru Shida versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel in her corner. And I'll tell you one thing, Shida and Britt Baker were pulling out all the stops, but in the end, Britt Baker with the lockjaw submission hold beat Hikaru Shida to become the brand new AEW World Women's Champion. Hikaru Shida was honored recently on Dynamite for having the longest long reign of the AEW Women's Championship for over a year, and I gotta say, she deserves that honor. And she held the title and held the women's division down during held down the fort in the women's division during the time of one of the toughest times of the year during the pandemic. So Hikaru Shida deserves a lot of rest and deserves an ovation from me. Love Hikaru Shida, but Dr. Britt Baker, it was her time, and it's her time. She's going to do the thing, and I'm sure Britt Baker will probably take on all comers and hopefully create a new rivalry with somebody. I think Tainara Nakanti is one of the ladies who wants that championship, and believe me, I love Tainara Nakanti as well. She's gorgeous, beautiful, and she's Portuguese, just like me. I'm half Portuguese, but she's Brazilian Portuguese. Whatever. So, I think it's cool, either way. And then you got Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, a.k.a. Harold! Hey, Scorpio Sky used to be known as Harold. Remember the anger collage with Team Hell No? And he say, yeah. And they tell him to shut up, Harold. I was kind of hoping they would start a shut up, Harold chant or something like that. Or Harold. Next time you see Scorpio Sky, I'm going to go, Harold. Shut up, Harold. Shut up, Harold. Anyways, it was a heck of a matchup. Sting still has some of the moves. I know Dan XP would disagree, but the fact of it is that Sting still got some moves. So, I don't know, still got some left in his tank, but I know reaching 60 and all, you'd think he would retire. But I think Sting is trying to, he's not trying to get any titles. I think he's trying to help mentor the younger talent as well, and possibly he's taking Darby Allin under his wing, which I think is pretty cool. But Sting and Darby Allin did win the matchup in the end. And Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky tagged up to become, and they call themselves the Men of the Year, which I think is an excellent tag team name. Then the AEW World Championship had everything in that matchup. Kenny Omega had both the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks. Well, a lot of people got involved in this matchup, but in the end, heck of a matchup. Kenny Omega versus Pac, who should be known as Neville in the WWE. And you got Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, which is like He's like one of the coolest guys ever. I call Orange Cassidy the Fonz of AEW because he's that cool. Hey, you know what I mean? He's that cool cat. But Orange Cassidy can go when he wants to. But now in the end, Kenny Omega did retain the championship. Indeed, when Don Callis had him whack Pac in the head with a title belt about 3 or 4 times, for goodness sakes. Each time with a different belt, that's for sure. But in the end, Omega did win the matchup. And then the Stadium Stampede match. This is my new favorite match. Because this is probably one of the craziest matches that AEW has ever came up with. And trust me on this when I say this. I mean, it was the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. And if the Inner Circle should lose this matchup, they have to disband. This matchup went all over the place. It was a brawl. This is one of my favorite matches of all time, the Stadium Stampede. Whoever came up with this idea, this is totally awesome. I mean, they beat the heck out of each other from pillar to post, all over the place. You're talking about, holy cow! You're talking about, Jericho and MJF were going at it to the point where Urban Meyer, the Jaguars coach, and I think it was George somebody, I forgot his name, probably assistant coach, strength coach, was in the office. They were fighting in Urban Meyer's office, and George Smith, I think it's George Smith, hands Jericho a couple of footballs, starts chucking them at MJF. They were brawling in the Jaguars boardroom meeting or something like that, and stapled MJF's head. Unbelievable. It was crazy. Wardlow and Jake Hager were brawling near the walk-in coolers, which is totally crazy. They walked by with a couple of pigs that were sliced open. Oh my God. I'm sure PETA will probably be on the case. Why'd you have to show that? Sammy Guevara and Shawn Spears went at it. I mean, you're talking. It had to the point where Sammy Guevara was handcuffed by Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears tried to escape, and then a few bikers were chasing him down, but then he went down to the side. But the dummy didn't realize that he left Sammy Guevara with the bolt cutters, the cutters. So Sammy Guevara just looked down and said, "You don't want to use these bolt cutters," and so he probably got free from that. And managed to run over Shawn Spears with a go-kart. Meanwhile, Proud and Powerful and FTR were fighting in some kind of restaurant bar. And here's the crazy part. They were about to get themselves a drink, and then they started brawling again. And then the music stopped, and then it changed the music. Conan, of all people, was the DJ. Conan. Now, he used to manage Santana and Ortiz, the Proud and Powerful gang, when they were part of LAX and Impact Wrestling. So, but then Tully Blanchard tried to get involved in that fight, and then all of a sudden, here comes Conan saying, no, and then they blindsided Conan. It was a crazy matchup. But the Inner Circle's entrance, I forgot, they like down the scoreboard. I'm like, be safe, guys, be safe. That entrance was crazy. And then only Sammy Guevara and Shawn Spears made it to the main arena of Double or Nothing. They were fighting all over the place, but in the end, after chair shots and whatnot, Sammy Guevara hit his high-flying finishing maneuver. And then 1, 2, 3, Sammy Guevara picks up the victory for the Inner Circle. Getting to stay, the Inner Circle came back to the ring to celebrate. Fans were singing the Judas song, and it was a heck of a matchup, to say the least. Inner Circle remains still a team, which is even crazier in itself. I gotta tell you, it's totally insane. So, and that is all the time we have on AEW's Double or Nothing Event Center, May the 30th, 2021, and episode 260 of WEML-TV Channel 77. On the next episode, it's Money Cards Monday, so I'll be delivering to you the money cards, all right, on the show. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll meet you on the next episode. Until then, stay blessed and blessed out.